Tonight on Connecticut's news station, new video released after a state trooper shoots a man during an eviction.
Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
We're looking into what happened and how neighbors are reacting.
Also, one Connecticut town is becoming bear aware as our state sees a record number of bears breaking into homes.
Worm out there today, but we are just getting started. It is really going to feel like summer outside tomorrow. Will this stick around into the weekend? Your full forecast coming up.
And eviction crisis in Connecticut.
And I've worked my whole life, and I never expected to be sleeping in my car.
How our state is trying to help more people get homes as housing costs keep rising.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, first on Fox 61, one town making sure its residents are bear aware as the state sees a record number of break-ins. Good evening, I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here at 10 tonight. Deep was at a meeting in Avon tonight to answer questions about the problem that's not only growing in town, but all across our state. Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live in Avon tonight to tell us how people there are trying to live alongside an increasing population of bears. Gabby.
Ben and Jen, people packed that meeting at the Avon Public Library tonight, many of them asking questions and sharing their concerns about the bears that they coexist with in this town and really across Connecticut. Bears have been reported in every single town in Connecticut. Now, officials say that when it comes to reducing human-bear interactions, prevention is key.
I'm pulling out of my parking spot yesterday, and there's a big, huge black bear going through the dumpster and eating all the food and having a great time.
Bear sightings like the one Ron Cataldi had this week are not at all uncommon in Avon.
Avon's a town that has a lot of people, but it also has a lot of bear habitat, so it's kind of prime for conflicts.
One of the most recent and alarming conflicts happened back in April.
You know, we did have someone who was bit a few weeks ago, 74 years old, walking her dog, minding her own business. That's very concerning.
It's one of the reasons residents attended a bear-aware information session Thursday evening to learn more about how to keep them and humans safe.
We're concerned about the wildlife and how to protect the bears and how to respect them.
According to the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, Connecticut's bear population is growing much faster than it was a decade ago. And bears are now even living in areas considered poor habitats for them, all because they can access human food.
Those are high caloric foods where, they get larger quicker, they reproduce, they have higher survival. So all of that is contributing to, a rapidly increasing population here in the state.
That's why experts say prevention is so important, encouraging residents to take small steps like waiting until the morning to bring trash cans out and taking bird feeders down. Residents say they've also been taking their own precautions.
So I have an app on my phone, which is a bear horn, and two of my neighbors who go into the trail regularly now have bear spray.
Black bears are native to Connecticut, so the ultimate goal is to be able to coexist with them peacefully in a home they share.
Living with the bears is not always easy, but we have to find a way to do that.
There is a bill this legislative session that looks to address the growing bear population here in our state. It would look to fine people who intentionally or unintentionally feed bears, and it does allow for the killing of bears in some circumstances. That bill has moved to the Senate. It's on the calendar, but it's not clear when it will be voted on. Coming up on the news at 11, I'll have more on how the idea is being received here in town. Live in Avon, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Interesting, Gabby. We will see you at 11 o'clock. Thank you. Well, new at 10, new body cam video release shows what happened before a state trooper shot a man in the town of Brooklyn. It happened while troopers were enforcing an eviction order. Fox 61's Jake Garcia has been going over that body cam video and joins us live from Brooklyn with more tonight. Jake.
Well, Jen, that shooting happening just 2 days ago as Connecticut State Police were evicting 59-year-old Byron Harvey, from his Tiffany Street apartment. A warning that some of the audio from the body camera video may be hard to listen to. State troopers were conducting a court order eviction after court documents say Harvey had not paid rent since February of last year. In the body cam video, troopers began talking with Harvey while he's seated in his dining room with his dog.
What do we need to do to get you squared away, man?
Harvey starts petting his dog before telling officers,
"I told you you're gonna shoot me."
What do we need to do that for?
If you don't, I'm going to try to at least get one of you.
State troopers try and calm Harvey down.
We don't want to hurt you. We don't want you to hurt us.
Troopers continue talking with Harvey before he stands up and begins moving toward the troopers with what appears to be a knife.
Put the knife down. Put the knife down.
We have chosen not to show what happens after this moment, but you'll hear the audio from what follows. You can hear one trooper shoot Harvey in the stomach while the other tases him.
Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down.
Harvey can be heard whimpering while on the floor. He was taken to a hospital before being flown to UMass Memorial Medical Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, to be treated for his injuries. And according to state police, he remains in that hospital tonight. Now, the Office of the Inspector General and the State Police Central District Major Crime Squad are investigating this incident. Live in Brooklyn, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you. Let's get a first check of your forecast right now, and we are on a roll with the gorgeous weather here lately.
Yeah, and it's going to heat up. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank talking about the summertime temperatures that we've got in store. Rachel.
Yeah, we had a little taste of that warmth outside today, maybe a little bit like early summer, but tomorrow we are in it. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s across the state, even warm near 80 towards the Connecticut shoreline. Right now it is 64 degrees in Hartford and for the New Haven area, and we're anywhere between 1 to 8 degrees warmer than it was at this time yesterday, a sign of what's ahead. Milder days, but also warmer nights too. Right now we're looking at temperatures that are in the 60s for most of the state, and we'll see overnight lows that'll only dip back into the 50s as we head towards daybreak with mostly clear skies ahead. Tomorrow we're looking at lots of sunshine, and we are warming things up with highs climbing again into the low to mid 80s as we head through the afternoon. Very warm, breezy, slight chance for an isolated shower or sprinkle, but I think most of the state stays dry. And I wanted to show you temperatures along the Connecticut shoreline because we make it up around 80 degrees right down to the beaches as we head through the day tomorrow, although a little bit cooler in southeastern Connecticut, upper 70s for Mystic and Groton. But as soon as you head farther inland, those temperatures soar, low 80s in Ledyard, mid 80s in Norwich, and we're looking at high temperatures in the low 80s for Burlington tomorrow. Heading into the weekend, it's a warm start, but a cooler finish. We'll talk about it, your full forecast coming up.
See you in a bit, Rachel. Thank you. Well, New Haven police say that they've arrested a man wanted in a homicide earlier this year. U.S. Marshals captured 22-year-old Omar Nelson in Bridgeport last week. They found him hiding under the insulation in a home attic on East Main Street. Investigators say 30-year-old Kentel Robinson was shot and killed back in January. It happened on Chapel Street between Beers and Orchard Streets.
After an extensive investigation, Detective Larnell Jackson was able to secure an arrest warrant for Omar Nelson for the charges of murder, criminal possession of a firearm, criminal possession of a pistol, carrying a pistol without a permit.
Nelson is also accused of armed robbery and had 10 other active warrants for his arrest.
Tonight, Norwich police are looking for the person who shot and killed a 19-year-old. Officers say Kamari Yabez Norman Clark was shot at an apartment complex on Sandy Lane last night. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police believe this was a targeted attack, and they're now looking for 19-year-old Stankovic Fabre, who used to live on Sandy Lane. Investigators say that he was driving this red car, an older model two-door Ford Mustang. No arrests have been made in the deadly shooting so far, but anyone with information should give Norwich police a call.
Police in Wallingford arresting a boy accused of carjacking a food delivery driver last year. Police say he and another boy, the second person, carjacked the victim back in August. Police say the victim was dragged about 500 feet before his car was taken. The arrested boy is facing 3 charges tonight. He's due in court next Wednesday. Police are still looking for the other suspect.
Well, new at 10, New Haven firefighters put out a fire at Abate, a pizza and seafood restaurant on Worcester Street. The fire department saying that the first call came in around 2 this afternoon. Firefighters discovered a fire in the building's attic, and it took a few hours to get that fire under control because of the structure of the older building.
It was definitely difficult because what happens is these older buildings, a lot of times they put rain roofs on or they add onto the roof for a cosmetic appearance. And once it gets above the old roof into that void space, it's in the process of opening up and just soaking it down.
Firefighters also say the employees got out by themselves and they rescued 2 birds in the basement stuck in their cages. Investigators are still looking into what caused that fire.
A toxicology report on State Representative Quentin Williams says his blood alcohol content was above the state's legal limit when he was killed by a wrong-way driver in January. The 300-page report says that police concluded the only contributing factor to the crash was that other driver, Kamedi Mustafaj of Manchester. She was also under the influence when she drove northbound on Route 9 south in Cromwell. Williams' district included Middletown, and he was the first African-American to represent the city.